I had something on my mind that I really want to share, a conversation that occurred yesterday. This is for people who are really struggling with their weight, um, and more than that, if they're honest, they're struggling with their health because of their weight. Um, so yesterday was my mom's birthday, and she asked me to take her to Long John Silver's. That's a fast food place. Now, I was opposed to that instinctively, but I didn't say no. Again, me being a hypnotherapist and having literally at this point thousands of clients who have lost anywhere from 20 to 200 pounds, um, I know that the majority of the weight comes off because their appetite for specific kinds of food changes so significantly that the food they eat starts to heal their bodies rather than hurt their bodies. So of course she asked me for this, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't go to a fast food place and feed you that because I love you. But she then proceeded to explain to me that my uncle, who passed away several years ago, um, they were very close, and often they would treat each other to Long John Silver's. And so for her, she hadn't had it since he passed, and it would be a very sentimental meal for her on her birthday. So with that said, she won the argument. It wasn't, and like I said, she hadn't eaten it for years, so I figured, no harm there. So I take her, we drive 45 minutes out because we don't even have that stuff in our city anymore. And we get there and we're looking at the menus, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to eat? Because considering what I do for a living and how healthy I am, I have no desire to ever eat anything that makes that worse. I don't want to eat anything that cheats me out of my energy, my health, my fitness. I just like feeling good. I know so many people are so used to feeling sick. I don't ever want to be on that side of the fence. Um, so I'm looking at the menu, and on the right side of the menu was Long John Silver's, and on the other side of the menu was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they had grilled chicken. So I'm like, oh, cool, I have an option, something I can eat. And as I order my food, the lady says, well, you get two sides. And I'm like, okay. I look up at the sides, and what are the sides? Corn on the cob, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes with gravy, french fries, what was the other thing? Whatever it was, long story short, it wasn't healthy. And basically the menu translated to me said fat, more fat, super greasy, really unhealthy. You don't really want to eat that if you want to feel good. That's kind of what I saw. And so I just said, do I have to have the sides? Can I just eat the chicken? And the lady's like, well, you get them anyway, so what do you want? I'm like, well, do you have a healthy option for someone who actually cares about what they eat? Like, doesn't like to eat things that make you sick. And she said, well, the closest thing we have is green beans. So I ordered a side of green beans. And she said, well, what's your other side? I'm like, So my mom says, oh, go and order the mac and cheese. Just do it. So I ordered this mac and cheese. She orders her food. We sit down and we're beginning to eat. And I open up the mac and cheese. What I saw in that bowl was what was in that bowl. Something made out of paste and wheat, covered in slime, butter, cheese. It looked like dressed up fat. It looked like diabetes. It looked like cellulite. It looked like cholesterol. And I just kind of looked up at my mom and I said, Mom, don't you love me? And she's like, yeah, why would you ask me that? And I took the bowl of mac and cheese to her and I said, then why would you ever ask me to eat something like that? And I meant that question. I really, really meant that question. And she's just like, what do you mean? I said, what do you see? I'm showing her the bowl. And she said, oh, I see mac and cheese. And I told her what I saw. I said, look at that slime, those noodles. Look here, I jiggled the bowl and it jiggled. I said, this is unhealthy just like it is. It's not going to get any better once I put it in my body. Why would you want me to eat that? Do you look at food that way? And my mom said, well, now that you mention it, no, I never do. She said, I saw the mac and cheese, but now that you point it out, and I'm looking at it from the perspective of my health, I see how sickening that is. That really is a bad thing to put in your body. Now, neither of us ate our mac and cheese, but the point is, how many very overweight, and again, I'm not targeting overweight, I'm talking about unhealthy people because of weight. How many people are out there who eat whatever's on their plate, never even take a minute to look beyond the glaze and the slimy, shiny, smelly cheese and all those other things we use to dress up food? How many people stop and look at it to see it for what it really is? Because if we did that, we'd be healthier. You know, it's about mental health. And what I mean by mental health is obesity, diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, a lot of heart disease. These are mental health disease. And now you might wonder how I could say that, but what I mean is if your mind was on your health, then you wouldn't have these diseases. Now again, cholesterol and high blood pressure can be genetic, but some of these other things are clearly triggered by just a lifelong lack of concern for your health. Just not paying attention to literally what you're putting in your body and what it does once it gets there. And of course it starts out when we're young. Our parents feed us whatever they want to, and we grew up thinking that that's how we eat, and later in life we think we can't control our urges, and we love to say, well, I ate that as a kid, and so what? As a kid you still had a chance. As a kid you didn't have high cholesterol. As a kid you didn't have diabetes. As a kid you weren't making your own choices. As a kid, you're a grown-up. Now you've got health bills. Now you're on medication. Now you don't want to be. So I shared all this to say, let's focus on our mental health, having our mind on our health. And remember that food can heal you. If it looks healthy, if the colors are bright and it's full of juice and nutrition, there's nothing wrong with that. Eat it a lot. Eat a lot. Stay in the produce aisles in the market. The meat aisles. I understand meat is different now. They put antibiotics and all that other stuff in there, but it's still better than anything in a box and anything that came in a can, because I'll tell you who made that. Man, the Food and Drug Administration. I'll tell you who didn't make it. God. Now, I'm not going to take a religious spin on this, but the point of the matter is, think about it. Really think about it. God doesn't have anything to gain by feeding you good food. But man, the companies that make food in cans and boxes, well, they've got billions to make. And if they make it addictive, if they make it so that you feel like you have urges you can't control, well, while you become unhealthier and you spend racking up medical bills, those guys are laughing all the way to the bank at your inability to be concerned with your own health. They're laughing at your mental illness. They're banking on it. If you look at food and it doesn't look good, it doesn't look like it will do something good in your body, it won't. It is what's causing you to be ill. Food has the power to heal, and it has the power to destroy, and over a lifetime, it will shorten your lifetime. It has the power to kill. But it has no power without your power of choice. Consider that when you're out there. Now, again, as a hypnotherapist, I can help. I know some people do seriously struggle with their cravings and their urges, childhood just really kind of overriding the desire to want to eat better. That's where I come in. I have lots of testimonials online, so please do visit my website, www.echypnosis.com. There's a testimonials tab. You can read for yourself. Long story short, you use hypnosis to get rid of those urges, cravings, desires, the things that you feel you don't have control. You find out you have more than control over. You have total control. I invite you to check that out. Call me anytime if you have any questions. My number is 716-359-6686. God bless you, and I pray that you will have your mind on your health, that you'll see your weight come off, and your life change. God bless. Bye-bye.